Cipher Mining stock just wrapped up another solid trading day, gaining 39 cents or 2.22% to close Thursday's session at $17.99 per share. That move might not sound as explosive as Wednesday's 11% surge, but when you consider it came on top of that kind of rally, it's a clear sign of sustained momentum and market conviction. The stock continues to show resilience, and investors appear to be settling into a new, more bullish view of what Cipher represents, not just a Bitcoin miner, but an emerging powerhouse in digital infrastructure and high-performance computing. Let's unpack what's behind today's trading, what's been driving the broader rally, and why investors are becoming increasingly optimistic about Cipher Mining's future. Thursday's session didn't bring any major new headline or breaking news from the company, but that's part of what makes this move interesting. When a stock keeps pushing higher without needing a fresh catalyst every day, it's a sign that the narrative and fundamentals are doing the heavy lifting. After the company's strong September operational update earlier this week, investors are still digesting the results and, more importantly, what they say about Cipher's trajectory. That report showed a company firing on all cylinders. Cipher mined 251 Bitcoin in September, including 19 Bitcoin from its joint venture data centers. It also generated an additional 7 Bitcoin worth of value from power sales during the month, demonstrating flexibility and efficiency in its operations. Cipher sold about 158 Bitcoin, finishing the month with roughly 1,500 Bitcoin held in its treasury, a solid reserve that provides both liquidity and long-term optionality. The company's deployed fleet now totals about 114,000 miners, delivering an operational hash rate of 23.6 exahash per second with an efficiency of 16.8 joules per terahash. These numbers place Cipher among the top players globally in terms of efficiency and scale. And with Phase 1 of its flagship Black Pearl facility now completed, the company has added an impressive 10.1 exahash of self-mining capacity. But perhaps even more importantly, Cipher confirmed that it's continuing construction at its Barber Lake facility, a site that's central to its next big leap, the shift toward high-performance computing and AI infrastructure. Management stated clearly that the company is now focusing on the HPC side of the business, marking a new phase of its evolution. This is exactly what's fueling investor optimism. The market has been waiting for proof that Cipher could execute on both sides of its business, the traditional mining operations and the AI hosting future. The latest data confirms that it's doing just that. We're seeing the market start to reprice Cipher accordingly, not as a speculative crypto miner riding the Bitcoin wave, but as a scalable infrastructure company operating at the intersection of two of the most powerful technological trends of the decade, blockchain and artificial intelligence. And the numbers tell that story better than any marketing pitch could. The operational performance shows Cipher's foundation is solid, while its strategic partnerships show where it's heading. Remember, the company is still benefiting from the momentum created by its major partnership with Google and FluidStack, a 10-year, $3 billion AI hosting agreement with a $1.4 billion lease backstop. In that deal, Google received warrants to acquire roughly 5.4% of Cipher's equity, effectively tying its long-term upside to Cipher's success. That partnership was initially met with mixed reactions. The stock spiked, then pulled back sharply as traders worried about dilution and misunderstood the structure of the deal. But now that Cipher has proven it can execute operationally, those fears are fading, and the true value of that partnership is starting to shine through. Google's involvement is more than just financial. It signals confidence in Cipher's capabilities and infrastructure, in its ability to deliver the kind of compute capacity that major technology companies need. The deal effectively validates Cipher as a legitimate player in the AI hosting and high-performance computing ecosystem. It's not just about mining anymore. It's about building the backbone for the next era of data processing and AI workloads. Thursday's gain reflects continued confidence in that direction. We're now seeing buyers hold their positions rather than taking profits after big-up days, and that's telling. Momentum traders and short-term speculators usually cash out after a sharp rally. But when the price keeps firming up and finding new bids, it means longer-term investors are stepping in. Institutions and funds are beginning to see Cipher as more than a story stock. They're starting to recognize it as an emerging infrastructure play with tangible assets, scalable operations, and massive optionality. Technically, the chart is confirming this shift in sentiment. After breaking out strongly above $16 earlier this week, the stock has established a new support zone in the mid-16 range. It's holding above previous resistance, which has now flipped into support, a classic sign of trend continuation. The next key level to watch is around $18 to $20. A decisive move above that zone would signal the next leg higher, potentially setting the stage for a run toward the low 20s in the near term. Volume has also remained strong, which is exactly what you want to see after a big move. High volume on up days and moderate volume on down days indicate that conviction is building rather than fading. Even as the stock consolidates some of its gains, the market tone remains constructive. Another supporting factor here is the broader macro backdrop. Bitcoin has been holding steady around the $115,000 level, giving miners like Cipher a strong profitability base. Meanwhile, the Federal Reserve's recent quarter-point rate cut has lowered the cost of capital and reignited risk appetite across the market. That's particularly good news for growth-oriented sectors like tech, AI, and digital infrastructure, all categories that Cipher now aligns with. The combination of strong Bitcoin prices, cheaper capital, and expanding AI demand creates a perfect tailwind for a company like Cipher. It can fund growth more efficiently, attract strategic partners, and position itself as a key bridge between crypto mining and AI compute infrastructure. It's also worth mentioning that Cipher's leadership transition, with Gregory Mumford stepping in as CFO, has gone smoothly and signals continuity in execution. The company's ability to maintain operational excellence through that kind of transition says a lot about the maturity of its management team. So what should investors watch for next? A few things stand out. First, pay attention to any updates around the company's AI and HPC hosting rollout. The more details Cipher provides about client onboarding, energy allocation, and data center commissioning, the clearer the revenue picture will become. Second, keep an eye on filings related to Google's warrants and the convertible notes. More transparency around the structure and timing of those conversions will help remove lingering uncertainty about dilution, one of the few remaining overhangs on the stock. Third, watch for continued operational consistency. Another strong monthly or quarterly update would reinforce the message that Cipher's success isn't episodic, it's systematic. And finally, track the technical setup closely. Sustaining above $17 and breaking through 18 with volume would signal strength heading into next week. If we see that follow-through, Cipher could be on track for another breakout run toward $20 or higher. At this point, it's becoming increasingly clear that Cipher Mining is in the process of being re-rated by the market. It's not being valued solely on its Bitcoin production or balance sheet anymore. Instead, it's being viewed as a next-generation infrastructure company, one with hard assets, renewable energy access, and a growing role in supporting AI and compute demand. Yes, risks remain. Execution challenges, competition, and market volatility will always be part of the picture. But the combination of strong fundamentals, proven efficiency, and a transformative partnership with one of the world's most powerful tech companies creates a bullish setup that's hard to ignore. Thursday's session might not have delivered fireworks, but in many ways, that's even more encouraging. It shows stability, accumulation, and a market that's beginning to trust Cipher's story. Momentum like this, built on fundamentals rather than hype, tends to last. Heading into Friday, the focus will be on whether Cipher can maintain this rhythm and close the week on strength. If it does, the message will be unmistakable. This isn't just a short-term trade, it's the beginning of a longer-term revaluation story. Cipher Mining is proving that it can deliver results, manage growth responsibly, and adapt to the changing technological landscape. With strong operations, visionary partnerships, and a clear roadmap into AI infrastructure, it's emerging as one of the most compelling hybrid plays in the market right now, part Bitcoin, part AI, and all momentum.